How are everybody? I'm going to just give it a few minutes, let some people drop in. This is completely off the cuff, so just give it a minute just for some people to drop in and start watching before we get into that game tonight. Oh God. As you're coming in, guys and girls, let me know what your thoughts are on tonight. What you think is done, and I'll give it one more minute as people drop in, and then I'll start with my thoughts, and I'll try and get through a few of yours as well as we go. Okay, let's start with a bit of balance to start with, okay? And I'll get into the weeds very quickly, but I don't think many of us expected to go there and get anything tonight. Liverpool are an exceptional team. There's an argument for them being the best team in Europe at the minute. There really is. But my problem comes that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And it's happened far too many times this season. Kicked around Old Trafford, kicked around the Etihad, kicked around Anfield, plus more. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sorry, but as Craig's just said, actually, his comments just flashed up. I don't see where the next point's coming from. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. We're all over the place. We've got a defence made out of Swiss cheese. There's that many holes in it. It's ridiculous. And I'm afraid I'm of the opinion now, and I will get absolute pelters for this, like I was doing in the chat for the Scotty's watch along from certain individuals. I'm not going to name names. That's not fair of me. That I'm always negative and etc. But I'm done with this now. We're heading back to the Championship, and it's all right saying, oh, you know, he brought us up, he's a god and all the rest of it, that we're here. It's all right in bringing us up, but he's taking us back down at the minute. And I don't want to hear there's three worse teams than us in this league. Who currently is worse than us? Probably Brentford on form. Brentford is shocking on form, yet they still sit above us in the table. All right, we've got a game in hand on them. But Norwich look more solid under Dean Smith. Yeah, they're still a poor team, but they look more solid. Watford have got their good front three back now and will probably pick up some points along the way, although they got pumped tonight. Burnley are the masters at staying up. Newcastle will motor away from the bottom three more than likely. And as much as I don't like to say it, I think Everton will have enough under Frank Lampard to stay up. Whereas we are just capitulating, absolutely capitulating. We're shocking, absolutely shocking. Again, tonight, the lineup. Let's start with that lineup, because I see people in the week, you know, we all give our preferred 11s, and there's reason we give them, and you know, none of us, or few of us, are a manager or coach or anything else, but we've all got two eyes and we can all see. And I said before the game, I want Dallas in midfield alongside Forshaw. Solidify that midfield. Bring Cresswell in. It's obviously Llorente couldn't play tonight, and to be honest, Llorente's has lost his head recently, so I wasn't too bothered about that. But bring Cresswell in at centre back. Put Ayling in his preferred position at right back, and play Cresswell and Strauch at centre back, freeing up Dallas to go in midfield with Forshaw. Then up front, what does Joe Gelhardt have to do to actually get some decent game time and not be coming on when we're 3-0 down with 25 minutes left or whatever it was? Just throw the kid to the wolves, why not? Anyone expecting to see more of Joffrey next season, I think you're in for a shock, because that kid must be speaking to his agent saying, no, get me out of here, because I'm better than this. I'm better than sitting on a bench watching this bunch of idiots run around and not do much. It's it's just appalling. And the buck stops with the manager. And if the rumours are true, and you know, there was quite reliable sources that reported it at the end of the January transfer window that Bielsa said no to players like Donny van der Beek, then the buck stops firmly with him. If the board are offering up options, then the buck stops firmly with him. If the board weren't offering up options, then the board sits with them. But I think if Bielsa was asking for players and the board said no, he'd have gone anyway. We know his reputation. We know what he's done in the past over clubs. The worst thing is now for me, we're so deep into the season, is if he went now, does that change our fortunes? Does it? With the way we train and everything else, does it change it? And the answer is I don't know. And that's the worst thing for me. I don't know what's best now for the football club that I love, that we all love, that everyone in these comments here that's stressed out and upset about what we're seeing week in, week out now. I don't know what's best. And it's, you know, we hear the same thing again. Oh, when we get Bamford and Calvin back, that's likely to be, that could be as late as the end of next month, or even later. Paddy's not wearing trainers yet, apparently. He can't put trainers on. So he's not going to be back anytime soon. It's just not good. And again, me getting called out in the comments earlier, do you know what I mean? Oh, you're a commentator on, or a presenter on a fan channel, you need to be more positive and, you know, believe in this and believe in that. No, I don't. I'll say what I want. And right now, not only one, are we heading south, and after years and years of being out this league, we're heading straight back out of it at this rate. Don't be absolutely blinkered that there's no way we're going down. Trust me, we are bang in danger here. Bang in danger. And I've lost my train of thought completely there. Yeah, you know, don't be negative. And I'm being realistic here. We're not good enough. We are not good enough. And if you, I always say it, I've said it for months on this channel, if you stand still in the Premier League, you are going backwards. You are going backwards. So, like, there's a few people in the comments saying, oh, Burnley won tonight, which isn't good. No, it's not good. And Burnley won, yes. And guess what they did in January? They shipped Chris Wood out and brought a better centre forward in for cheaper. And what did we do? Diddly squat, apart from another kid for the 23s. Well, those 23s better get ready for some first team football, because the way we're going, a lot of them will be in the first team next season in the Championship. It's, yeah, Al, 5 wins in 26 games. 5 wins. Worst defence in the league now. So everyone's saying, oh, Norwich are worse than us, or Watford are worse than us. We have got the worst defence in the Premier League now. We've conceded more goals already this season than we did all last season. And we leaked goals at times last season. So people need to open their eyes. Open your eyes. And, you know, I love what Bielsa's done for this club. Absolutely love what he's done for this club. But the man is tarnishing his legacy. But Bielsa will leave one day, whether it's tonight, end of the season, whenever, and Leeds United will still be there. And there's potential now that he leaves us in the league below where we are now. And if you're happy with that, just because, well, it's Bielsa, so he can go when he says, and who are we to question him? Come off it. What you want to do is follow him club to club then and support him, and not support Leeds United, because it's, as we always say, side before self, and that includes the manager. And what I've seen tonight again is disgusting. I don't care that it's Liverpool who have got, you know, potentially the better. Diaz looks an absolutely unreal player. Don't get me wrong, Liverpool are an unbelievable team. They can rip people apart at will. They did it to Manchester United earlier this season at Old Trafford. They'll do it to many teams. But I don't want my team to be one of those teams. I don't want to see Leeds get ripped apart. And once every so often, we'd sit back and go, well, it was Liverpool, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? But it's week in, week out. Martin, I said earlier, mate, you might not have been on. At the end of the day, from what we know from reliable sources in the press, Bielsa was offered players in January and said no. So it's all right saying, what about Rad's an investment? That might be the case. And I've said, if the board didn't offer any options for players, etc., investment, then it's on them. But I don't believe if Bielsa was asking for players and the board said no, he'd be here anyway. We know his reputation. We know what he's done at other clubs. He would walk if he wasn't getting what he wanted. He would walk. So I'm not buying everyone pointing the finger at Radrizzani. Don't get me wrong, he could have done things differently as well. Some of the blame lies there because at the end of the day, he owns the club. It's his money that's being pumped into this, and it's him that will take an absolute hit if we go down financially. So maybe Radrizzani should have stood up to him a little bit more and said, you will take players on. And if you don't like that, then you know where the door is. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, are they the right type of players? Donny van der Beek, we saw what he did to us just a couple of weeks ago for Everton. Don't tell me we can't bring in an international football because we're worried he might not be the right type of player. It's bolstering what is a bare thread squad. The reason we've got a bare thread squad, because we've got loads of injuries. But other teams have got loads of injuries, but they don't operate with a 16, 18-man squad because the manager insists on having, Pascal can also play CDM and Robin Koch can also play CDM. And, if Patrick Bamford's injured, I don't think we really need a centre forward. It's laughable. Laughable. And for me, the man is too stubborn for his own good. His way or no way at all, which in a certain respect for a manager it should be. You should do what the manager does, but not at the detriment of a club. The squad should do what the manager says, but the board and everyone else should have been on this and dealing with it. Everyone, 99% of Leeds fans out there in January screamed, we need a central midfielder. Someone higher up to support the front line. We made a bid for Aaronson. That didn't happen. But I don't know why we ever thought Aaronson would come mid-season when he's in the Champions League, or why his club would even let him go. It's ridiculous. And someone said to me in the comments, we can't go spending 200 million every window. Who wants to spend 200 million every window? I don't. What I want is a squad deep enough with enough quality that when players get injured or are suspended or whatever it may be, that there's someone that can come in and do a job. And that isn't, we're watching Tyler Roberts come on at halftime, and we haven't lost tonight because of Tyler Roberts. So I'm not singling Tyler out. This is just an ongoing theme, isn't it? That when we bring someone off the bench, they need to affect the game and change the game. And we bring people off the bench because the squad isn't deep enough that they're not good enough to change the game. And then we're bringing on a good player like Joffrey at 65, 70 minutes. We're 3-0 down. I don't know what we're expecting the kid to do. I don't know what we expect the kid to do. It's just mind-boggling. I'm pretty sure most of us can see where the issues are. We've been saying it for long enough. And he's just so stubborn that he won't back down from his way of thinking. And it worked in the Championship. You can get away with having a few players out in the Championship because the quality is not that high. So you can scrape results out, etc., etc. You can't do that in the Premier League. You stand still in the Premier League, you are going backwards. Everton strengthened. Obviously, Newcastle can throw money at now, massively strengthened. Burnley strengthened by bringing a better centre forward in than what they had. We did nothing. Nothing. So even if we do survive this season, and there's still a decent enough chance that we will, I think, as Jamie's just said, actually, drop that in right at the right time, Jamie, thank you. This needs a massive rebuild for me, this team, a massive rebuild. And if he stays to the end of the season, for me, not under this manager, we need a fresh approach. Whether that's Jesse Marsch, who seems to be being touted everywhere, obviously, with the 49ers being an American franchise and Jesse Marsch being an American coach. His name seems to be bandied around everywhere. But whoever it may be, I think we need a fresh approach. I really do. So, yeah, I'm saying it. And I know some people won't like that. I don't care. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. I see Ollie saying Carlos Corberán. Mate, a lot of that depends on whether he brings Huddersfield Town up, who are flying in the Championship. He's doing a great job there. But I don't know how his methods compare to Bielsa's, etc., etc. So I don't know. And it's not my job to bring the new manager in. Do you know what I mean? There's people paid a lot of money at the football club to be identifying the right person to come in and take over. So we definitely need a fresh approach. The squad needs livening up. So for me, and again, people will get upset by some of these, but again, I don't really care. 𝐘𝐿, squad player, he's not good enough for the Premier League for me. I think he's reached his ceiling. He's been superb for us. I love 𝐘𝐿, but I'm talking about a football club evolving. 𝐿 sounds like he's gone anyway at the end of the season to the Bundesliga. Obviously, Tyler. I don't think Jamie Shacks personally. Some people, again, it's hard to say because he's a Leeds boy. I'm not sure he's up to Premier League levels. They look lively tonight at times. Diego Llorente can even go for me. I think he's been dreadful recently. Maybe not go, but certainly shouldn't be starting. And for all those, League One Liamers, what have we been like without Coops in this side? What have we been like in defence? He might not be the best player in this squad, but let's think back. Lucas Radebe wasn't the best player in that squad, but he was a leader. He was someone who gripped the players around him and got on with it. Do you know what I mean? And made people around him better because he controlled what was going on. We are missing Liam Cooper, and of course we're missing Calvin and Paddy. And yes, that's the spine of the team. Of course it's the spine of the team, but it doesn't excuse going out and getting absolutely walloped every week. Absolutely walloped. You go and look at Liverpool's last goal tonight. And Pascal, who I think is a tremendous player, he's got a massive future in the game. But Virgil van Dijk just walks off him. He doesn't do anything special. Just walks off him. Just walks off him and obviously buries a free header. Gary, let me flash this up, mate. I know what you're saying, but that's wrong, isn't it? Because we went flying around with 20 million for Aaronson in January. So he has shown that there's money there. From what we hear, from, again, not us hearing whisperings on Twitter, but from reliable press sources that's out there for everyone to see, it was Bielsa that was refusing players. If he couldn't have Aaronson, then he didn't want anyone. So Van der Beek was a no. Dele Alli, which I'm not too fussed about, if I'm being honest, was a no. So we can't just point the finger at Rads. I'm pretty sure he would have wanted to make sure there was enough in the squad to stay up, because if he doesn't, his takeover with the 49ers, he's not getting half the wedge that he's due to get when they buy out the rest of his shares, because the club won't be worth as much. So I'm not so sure about that, mate. I see what you're saying, and there's, none of us truly know, do we? We're all just sort of speculating and going off what we hear, but I don't agree with that Cooper's never been good enough. I think there's an agenda against Liam Cooper. Yes, he makes mistakes, but Jesus, we're seeing mistakes week in, week out from this lot that are currently playing. So I'm not going to hear that Coops is any worse than what I'm seeing now. Potentially, mate. I don't know. Again, I'm not in the know. I'm just a fan who works on a fan channel, giving my opinion. But it wouldn't surprise me, mate. There must be discussions going on. There must be. And do you know what else tonight? Spurs got obviously beat by Burnley. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened for us. Not just because Burnley have got 3 more points, but Antonio Conte is going to get right up Spurs players after that. They'll be fired up. And Kane and Son, against our backline the way it is, are going to have an absolute field day. Do you know what I mean? And we talk about, you know, clubs evolving and, you know, I can't even say the word, a manager's spell at a club. And maybe we've just come to the end. I think we've just come to the end. And it's sad to see, because he's done so much for the club, for the city, for the fans, for the players, made a lot of them better players. Stuart Dallas, Calvin Phillips spring straight to mind, do you know what I mean? For making the better players. But things move on, things change, things have to evolve. The squad has hardly changed since we came up. We've brought in bits of quality. Of course we have, Rafinha, etc. But it hasn't changed enough. There's a large number of those players that are championship players. And he's so loyal to players who don't make a damn difference on the pitch. So for me, it's exactly what Pablo says. Thank you for everything. That picture that's up there will always stay up, because I adore the man for what he's done. But nah, people seem to think if you're Bielsa out or asking for change, that you hate the man and don't appreciate what he's done. I think that couldn't be further from the truth. 99% of me is, I'm worried about my football club, because that'll go on far longer than me, you in the comments, Marcelo Bielsa, the current owners, anyone. Leeds United will live on. But there's 1% of me that I don't want him to ruin his legacy at the football club because of what he's done. I don't want that for him or for us. You know, less than 12 months ago when we finished 9th, we were lauding him, and quite rightly lauding him. But I think last season's 9th place finish has come back to bite us on the arse, because I think potentially everyone at the club sat back and went, oh, we'll be all right. We can, you know, we don't need to massively change. We don't need an upheaval of players, etc., etc. And I think we rested on our laurels, and we're being found out. I'm loving that there's like Scum fans in here making comments. I mean, shouldn't you be off celebrating the fact that you might scrape top 4 or something with your £1 billion squad? Have a word. And I think Pablo, again, making another good point here, that have the players had enough of Bielsa ball now and feeling like they're going out on the pitch to get a hiding? Because I would be, if I felt like, oh, we're trying the same thing again, are we? You know, definition of madness. Let's just keep trying the same thing and not changing. Stepping out onto the pitch against Liverpool thinking their front three are scary with a decent midfield behind them, and we're going to leave them a world of room in the middle because that's how we play. I'd be deflated as a player going out thinking this is getting beyond a joke. And it's actually damaging my career now, because I'm going out on the pitch and looking like an absolute mug. Absolute mug. So I think there probably is an element of, I'd say certainly some of the players, Rafa just looks absolutely pissed off at the minute. And I can't blame him. He's a top level footballer. And at the minute, he's just watching an absolute shit show go on. And he's been sucked into it as well, because he's not been great at times recently. So, yes, as someone's saying there in the comments, there's big change coming, whether we stay up or not. I think big change needs to happen. Kiss goodbye to Rafa. I think Calvin will probably go in the summer, because I don't think the club's shown enough ambition. Whether that is the manager's fault or the board's fault or a combination of the two. I think Calvin goes. Calvin will want Champions League football, and he can go and get Champions League football. I'm also worried Joffrey will go. Genuinely worried Joffrey will go. And I think he's such a star of the future, that lad. And he should be getting game time more than he's getting. And I think he'll go, because I think he can go to a club who will say, yeah, you'll play. You'll get game time for us. And I'm not talking about in the Championship. I'm talking about in the Premier League. You know, a bottom half to sort of higher mid-table Premier League team would look at Joffrey and go, Well worth a punt, that kid. So, yeah, I don't know what much else to say. I saw some rumours immediately after the game that he'd resigned. They were quickly quashed. I think he's that stubborn. He wouldn't go off his own steam at the minute. And again, this is where I'm really torn, because I don't know. Even if he did go, I don't know who comes in to fix it, because yeah, I know he's under contract, D, but contracts mean absolutely shit in modern football. Let's be honest. If he says he wants to go, and someone comes in with a decent amount of money for him, then he's gone. So contracts don't really mean shit. It just means we can demand a bit more money because he's not out of contract or close to being out of contract. That's all. And I do think I heard the fans singing his name tonight, and when I'm in the ground, not Joffrey's, Bielsa's name tonight, and when I'm in the ground, I sing it, because just like the players on the pitch, when I'm in that ground, I support the manager because I'm supporting my football club. But I do think the fan base is turning now. You know, there was a few people months ago who, I hope you're holding your hands up and saying, I was calling this early doors because it looks like you were very right. And they were getting absolutely slammed all over the place. How dare you speak out against Bielsa, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And you're being proven right. It's a fair play to you. You saw it earlier than a lot of us. Yeah, no direction or ambition. I genuinely feel like the club's lacking ambition. I think this staggered takeover isn't doing us any good, because who knows who's in charge or who's got a say. So I think, to be honest with you, I think it's all a bit of a shit show at the minute, our football club. And people go, oh, if you want Bielsa out, what? And you remember the days of 𝐘𝐿 and Chelino. Just because I don't agree with what's going on now, does it mean I want to go back to having Chelino and 𝐘𝐿? Funnily enough, there are other managers and owners out there than them two. So it's an absolutely futile argument. You know, Bielsa brought us up. Fantastic. That's what he was brought in to do. We thank him for that. But Bielsa's in very big danger here of taking us back down. And then what? He goes and we're back in the same position. We sell all our major assets and we're back in the Championship. And yes, you know, potentially we might bounce back up. That's not very Leeds United, is it? No, we could spend a good decade there again, fucking around in the fucking second tier. There's people in here saying Leeds are falling apart again. I'm not going to argue with you. We can't get beat 4-2, then 6-0 and say we're not falling apart. It's pathetic. We fall apart on the pitch every week at the minute. I don't know if we've got the stomach for a relegation battle. I don't know if we've got the stomach for it. And by that, I mean some of the players, the manager, and even, you know, the upper echelons of the club. I don't know if we've got the stomach for it. It's all coming across like the jellyfish at the minute. There's no spine there. I'm not seeing any, you know what I mean? No one's getting angry. Where's the anger on the pitch tonight? We're getting humped all over the pitch. Where's the anger? Where's the Leeds United that we know? I'm not on about going and, you know, knocking someone clean out. Where's the anger? Where's someone flying into a bastard tackle and fucking getting in the faces? There's nothing. We look weak. We look beaten. After 3 or 4 minutes tonight, we looked absolutely beaten. We came out of the traps quite well. And then once that first goal goes in, that's it, it's done. We looked absolutely beaten. Ben, you're right about Newcastle, mate. Newcastle aren't worried. They'll motor up the table now. They'll finish it well above us and Brentford and Everton and all the others down in around the bottom three. They recruit. I mean, I know they've got almost a bottomless pit of money, but they didn't really go mad with who they signed. You know, there was no real worldies coming as such, but they recruited well and strengthened where they needed to strengthen. And who didn't strengthen? We didn't. Did Joe say this squad's capable of a top 9 finish? No, I don't agree. They did it last season, and And, you know, opinions like ourselves, me and Joe get on great, we're good mates, but everyone disagrees on some things. We did it last season. Last season was a bit of an anomaly, you know, no fans in grounds. A lot of the players are a bit older now. A lot of the players are probably burning out with just how savage the last 3-4 seasons has been for them under this training regime, under this management regime. This squad's nowhere near capable of finishing 9th anymore, in my opinion, even fully fit. And let's be honest, when does Leeds United ever have a fully fit squad? It doesn't. There's always someone out who we're crying out for. Do you know what I mean? Oh, God, I can't believe we're missing them. So, yeah, and Giancarlo, you know, good lad is Giancarlo. I see him at the games every so often. Absolutely bang on the money, mate. As you normally are when we discuss stuff. New personnel coming in means players are hungry, you know, thinking about the future, etc., etc. I'd love to take the reins, mate, and get right into it. I'd love to. Not sure the club would be up for that, but you never know. You never know. They might be like, "Come on, gobshite, let's see how good you are." I'd have a go at it. The first thing I'd do is move to a double pivot in front of the defence to solidify it a little bit. Just saying. Yeah, and it's sad, isn't it, Chris, that at this stage of the season, we're now just hoping that other teams don't get enough points to overtake us. Isn't that sad? It really is. Sad state of affairs for a football club like ours. David, I've got to laugh at this comment, mate. I've got to flash it up. Yeah, I've said this before, mate. To be fair, you probably won't have seen it because I'm clearly you're not a Leeds fan. That as a fan, I actually enjoyed the Championship more. I had a lot more fun in there. I think the Premier League is watered down, corporate nonsense a lot of the time. I can't be digging Rafinha out, mate. Don't get me wrong, he's not been great the last few games, but if it wasn't for him this season, we'd be pretty much him and Meslier, who's made some unbelievable saves, and he's not been great recently either. But without them two, we'd be rock bottom of the league, mate. But again, bringing Orta up, yeah, he's another one, isn't he? Who's in the firing line. Rads, Orta, 𝐘𝐿, Bielsa. I don't know, mate. I know that Jesse Marsch has been heavily linked, obviously, because of the American link with the 49ers. I probably wouldn't say no to Carlos Corberán, but would he be much different? I don't know. But he's potentially bringing Huddersfield up, so he's not going to leave. He's doing a fantastic job at Town, which is another sickener, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. But I don't know, mate. I don't know who I bring in, and luckily that's not my job to decide who the new manager is. My job is to sit here and bitch and moan, or be happy when things are going right, and bitch and moan when they're not. And I'm in full bitching and moaning mode at the minute. But yeah, I haven't even looked on Leeds Twitter tonight. I've got the fucking gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I won't sleep tonight. I'm so angry about that tonight. It's just shocking, isn't it? And like I said right at the beginning, yes, it's Liverpool. Yes, they're a fantastic team. Levels above teams like Manchester United and stuff, but still, we just rolled over for them tonight. They knew exactly how we'd play. And, I mean, you've got Joel Matip wandering right through the middle of us, just having an absolute laugh. Like, you know, I've got the freedom of Anfield here. And just no one engaging him or getting into him. Good old Gale. I hope you put money on that, Gale, so you at least got some money back. Because, yeah, there's nothing much else to be positive about, is there? No, and this is the thing, mate, isn't it? It's like he's got incriminating pictures of people at the top of the club, and they won't say boo to him. And I can sort of understand now at this point, looking at it logically, bringing someone in now, would it make that major change? Potentially yes, potentially no, I don't know. Is there someone out there right now available who, at the level we need to come in and sort this? And I'm not talking Sam Allardyce's, etc., because God. So it might be but maybe they should have swung the axe earlier. So there's a whole conversation there as well, isn't there, mate? It's just sad that it's just sad, isn't it, that it's come to this? I mean, Jesus, really? Where's that gone? Is that right? If TalkSport are getting stuff right, then I give up. I give up. If TalkSport are correctly predicting stuff, that shows how predictable we are. If those muppets at TalkSport are getting stuff right. Yeah, and I think this is what I've been getting at, Aaron. Just his pure stubbornness, his lack of humility. And there's a very real danger that we'll be back where we started and he'll be off somewhere else, probably retired. I think this will potentially be his last job in football, certainly at a management level. Yeah, I agree, mate. They're a money-making machine at the 49ers. They know how to, because it's not the 49ers that are buying them, it's the company that own the 49ers, isn't it? Do you know what I mean, really? And they know how to build a winning mentality, a club, etc., etc. So, but for me, let's get it done. Let's get this handover done. Let's get this takeover done. They're not going to do it now because now the 49er group will be saying, well, we're not going to buy any more shares until we see where we are next season. Because if we're in the championship, we'll get you cheaper. Right? So, again, Rads, 𝐾𝐎𝐿, Bielsa, it's this where we are now is screwing up everything at the minute. It's screwing up the future of the club from an ownership point of view, because that all now hangs in the balance as such. We've got a manager who won't adapt his ways to suit the teams that we're playing. When we're playing a Burnley or a Watford, yeah, go at them. Yeah, go at them. When we're playing a Liverpool or a Manchester United or a Man City or a Chelsea, let's be a little bit more pragmatic about it, eh? Let's maybe get that double pivot in. Let's solidify. Let's play square pegs in square holes. I don't care that Charlie Cresswell's only 19, 20, 21, whatever he is. He's a centre-back. So play a centre-back. I don't care that Joffrey's only 19. He's a centre-forward. Play him at centre-forward. It's just ridiculous. It's just mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And like I say, I'm just a fan like you lot, sat here commenting. Do you know what I mean? And I think I can see some of the issues that are there. And a lot of you in the comments are saying the same things. So many people are identifying these issues. Yet the one man who supposedly lives and breathes football is so stubborn that he won't adapt and change and make the necessary changes where needed. It's just craziness. Yeah, where's that? So many comments come in. I can't keep up. Yeah, I said before kickoff that Dallas should be in midfield alongside Forshaw because he brings that energy. He's box to box, is Stuart Dallas. He can get in and around Forshaw and help him out, etc., etc. And no, let's stand him at right back and push Ayling into centre back, who is a god awful centre back. He's dreadful at centre back, especially against these teams like who've got a front three of Mane, Diaz, and Salah. Come on. I don't know, this is probably Tash. The premise is absolutely right. Yeah. there's like this cult of Bielsa that's still existing, and I've questioned him a lot this season. I've not got to the point where I am now before, but I've questioned him a lot more because some of his decisions, certainly mid-game decisions, have been mind-boggling. But we're just not evolving. We're not changing. We're not adapting to what we're facing, and it's his fault. So, you know, if we do end up back in the Championship, you never know, I might be able to get that season ticket I've been waiting for a few seasons. Oh, got to pick out the silver linings, right? It's yeah, just mate. If you're a Spurs fan, you just got beat by Burnley. Tonight's not the night to be going off if you are a Spurs fan. Just saying. Yeah, and that's it. Ideologies can be great, but it's rare that an ideology ever works consistently and never runs out of steam, because everything else around that ideology adapts and goes, well, the way we beat that ideology is do this. So, yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Don't tell her that to her face. Big enough head as it is. Only joking, Tash. Oh, she's already seen it. No, and this is something I've said before, mate. I think we've had this discussion in Billy's, haven't we? That there's a reason we're getting all these injuries, and so many of these injuries happen on training grounds, or even if they happen on the pitch, the hamstrings and stuff like that. It's overworking the players. This is something I can comment on because I understand it. You know what I mean? I'm a physical trainer. I'm a coach, etc., etc. The players don't get any rest. And Giancarlo will know this. He's a man of the gym as well. You can't batter your muscles every day without resting them, because they give up, and they ping, and they snap, and they blow out, and all the rest of it. It's, again, the best sports scientists in the world work at football clubs. We've got some very good ones, I'm sure. We've got a great doctor in Rob Price. Why is no one saying, give the lads a few days off? They're absolutely destroyed. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, mate. They rest on the laurels after last season. So I agree with you on that one. Yeah, and injuries happened, and there'll always be, and in this kind of football, this game after game after game, there'll always be injuries happen, but it's just the way our injuries happen, a lot of them. It's rare that they're impact injuries or anything like that. It's normally ping, something blowing. So there's got to be an element of the way they're absolutely battered in training and on the pitch with what they're expected to do on the pitch. Yeah, and this comment's getting a bit boring now, isn't it? That we hear it. Yeah, they deserve. It was a fair result. Marvellous. Well, yeah, great. That doesn't help anyone, does it? It's just mental. We can't defend corners. We can't defend. Never mind defend corners. And I do feel for the players at times, because a lot of it is the system we're playing. It's so easy now to play against. These are elite level managers we're playing against. Your Jurgen Klopp's, your Pep Guardiola's. Like we beat City last season at their place. That was never going to happen again, because Pep has adapted. He knows how we play, and then they absolutely tore us a new one. Klopp the same. We pushed them close last season. This season, get a spanking. Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know is the answer. I don't know. He's another lad who's starting to look a bit short of confidence. If you want an opinion, mate. Off you go then, mate. No one's forcing you to be here. However, before you go, let me know why I'm a clown. Go on. Probably won't. Yeah, and you're right, Niall. And I've been saying this, mate. I don't know. This is what I mean. I don't know what's best now moving forward, and that's the thing that rattles me the most. I don't know what's best now moving forward. Is it that Bielsa stays till the end of the season and hopefully keeps us up? Is it that we potentially bring someone in who doesn't have any impact and we still go down and all the rest of it? I don't know. And there's also potential, obviously, we bring someone in. I don't know who that could be. And we get that new manager bounce and we get enough to stay up. It's a world of unknowns, isn't it? It's just not a good place to be at the minute. And I'll be like those few that are out there giving me jip, like Mikhail and others. I'm sorry. I'll be more positive about everything that's going on at the minute. We'll be fine, everyone. No need to worry. We've got more than enough to stay up. We're not getting smashed every week. That's just a dream or a nightmare. Yeah, you're not wrong, Jay. I don't know if that's a dig or not, but you're not wrong. It is all if, buts and maybes because we don't know. But I'm here to just comment on what I've seen tonight. I'm also commenting on what we've seen over the season. Do you know what I mean? And it's not been good, has it? It's not been good enough. And it's Sunday league level basics that we're seeing not work week in, week out now. So yeah, it's just not good enough. I'm going to give it 3 more minutes. I'll just check a few more of your comments, and then I'm going to log off. That'll be 50 minutes. I've said my piece. Some people are getting rattled by what I've said. That's fine. That's your right to get rattled if you don't like what I'm saying. No need to fire off at me in the comments, etc. I'm just giving an opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch. Simple as that. Yeah, good point. Good point. And this is what it comes down to, isn't it? We're Leeds fans, or I'd like to think 99% of us are Leeds fans. We're Leeds United fans, not Bielsa fans. We're appreciative of what he's done, etc., up to this season. We massively appreciate what he's done for Leeds United, but we are Leeds United fans, and the club needs to live on and survive and evolve. And it's not at the minute. And so I'm right with you, mate, Mr. J. Smith, or Miss J. Smith, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, you're absolutely bang on. Where's that gone? It's a fair question, mate. Calvin's a great footballer. Calvin's the engine room in what we do. But with the way we're playing at the minute, I don't see him changing enough for us to all of a sudden become the old conquering team again. I don't. Because I think, and there's a few factors to that, right? There's and the big one is player confidence right now. Their confidence must be on the floor, and they'll come out to the press and they'll say, "Oh, we go again." The usual rinse and repeat comments that players have to make. But the confidence must be absolutely on the floor. And if he's losing the dressing room, a Calvin or someone coming back in doesn't massively change that. So by the time KP comes back, we could be too far gone. No, exactly, mate. And this is what I've been saying about people saying, "Oh, there's 3 worse teams than us." Is there? I don't see them at the minute. There's every chance everyone's saying, "Oh, it's all right. We'll get to Norwich and Brentford and all that, and we'll beat them. We'll be fine." Why are people so convinced that we're going to beat these teams? They're fighting for their lives as well. If we haven't got the bottle to face up to them and get into them, then we're going to get seen off. Anyway, listen, I appreciate everyone in the comments. I appreciate all you watching. Please hit a like. If you don't already subscribe, please do. What you do get on All Leeds TV is massively different opinions, or slightly different. Some of you have heard Scotty on the watch along. He's still very much in the Bielsa stays till the end of the season camp. I think we've got people on the channel who are still very much believe in Bielsa as well. All that might have changed. I've not spoken to them tonight. So you get different opinions from different people. I think Jack's recorded a post-match. I'm not sure when Tash and Jack are putting that out. It'll either be tonight or it'll be tomorrow morning. For Jack's opinions, I don't know what Jack's opinions are. Well, I sort of do, but it'll be interesting to see what Jack's got to say. Not one to pull his punches, which is great. That's what you want, right? When you tune into these channels, people to say what they're thinking. So I appreciate everyone's comments. It's been a crappy night. I hope you all managed to sleep. If you've got any Liverpool fans that you know that are close friends or family, I'll probably switch your phone off and just ignore it. And we pull our socks up. We try and recover from this. And as I've said before, we will then get behind the lads for the Spurs game and hope for the best. And that's what it's come down to now, hope rather than expectation. I don't really like that, just hoping. But yeah, that's where we're at. Cheers, everyone. Have a good rest of the week, and I shall see you all at some point over the weekend. Cheers. Bye.